ever wanted to be. I confessed at 7 years old that I would be a registered nurse. So I worked hard to get there. And so I received my doctorate in 2015 in nursing practice. So I have the highest degree, highest terminal degree in clinical practice of nursing. So that is what my doctorate is in.
Okay, okay. We
Awesome.
we see
Yeah.
you doing your thing.
Yes,
Like I
sir.
told you before, black excellence at its finest.
Yes.
At
Yes,
its
yes,
finest.
yes, yes.
So it
So,
also has come to me that you have a book out. If
yeah,
if I'm correct on that or not.
You no, you're kind of correct. So I actually am a published author of 5 books. So
Excuse me.
and
Let
my
me be
bad,
politically
my
correct.
bad,
yeah,
my bad.
I'll release number 6 August the 1st. But I
Okay.
am a published author. I'm actually an Amazon bestseller of my freshman book, which is this book right here is Bounce Back: Tips to Overcoming Adversity, Life Challenges, and Setbacks.
Hmm.
So this is my freshman book, the first book I wrote, and also along with that book, I have a journal to help people write down things to help overcome life challenges, setbacks, life stuff that happens to them. So
Hmm.
these are my this is my first book. I have 2 other books that I've written that talk about entrepreneurship in nursing. I don't know many
Okay.
nurses that don't have a side job, a side gig, a business or something. So one is Boss Nurse, one class at a time, and the other book that I wrote is Through Adversity to Triumph. And that book talks about reaching your goals, striving to reach your goals in spite of challenges, in spite
Hmm.
of what you got going on. And I co-authored that book with some amazing other nurses who had challenges. And my challenge was lupus. I hear that static. My challenge was lupus, but I still pushed past lupus to obtain my master's, to obtain my doctorate, and to open a couple of businesses.
Okay.
So that those are my books. They both talk about adversity, going through adversity, but still being triumphant, still achieving your goals in spite of the stuff that has happened to you. And the final book that I released this past year is a 365-day devotional for nurses, for healthcare providers. I actually have some friends who are not healthcare providers, and they purchased the book, and they say the book is amazing, that it has blessed them. So it's a daily devotion, with affirmations and prayers in it for you every single day to uplift you and encourage you. And I thought about writing that book because as a nurse on the front line, COVID was whooping us, y'all. I'm telling y'all, it was tearing us down. And I said, I need to do something to help nurses and healthcare providers, those people who are on the front line, EMS, firefighters, police, all of us, help us cope and get through this tragic pandemic that we're in. And so God blessed me to write that book.
So there's one particular book that you're speaking about was inspired due to the pandemic.
Uh-huh. That's a devotional. Yes.
So I guess like you experienced a lot during this pandemic, being on the front line.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've been a nurse for 24 years and I've never seen anything like COVID. I've lived through SEARS, MARS, I've lived through HIV when it hit the scene, nobody knew what it was. I worked through that and flu, pandemic, bird flu, swine flu, everything. I've
Ebola
never,
when it was an epidemic.
yeah, I've never seen what
Yeah,
I've
Yeah.
seen for COVID. So I saw nurses succumb. I've lost nurse friends to who worked on the front line who contracted COVID and passed. I've worked. I was
Wow.
working 60 hours a week. It
Mm.
was horrible, and I was a salary worker, so I wasn't getting any extra money. So it was just so draining. Plus, I contracted COVID twice,
Yeah, that was
and
my next
Wow.
question to you was to, well, if you're able to tell us some of the adversities that you had to deal with personally, um, during this whole process.
With COVID, it was just going to work every day and seeing so much sickness, seeing so much death. I mean, I've been a nurse for 24 years, and I never had that much death that I had to deal with as I did during the season of COVID. So you take 23 years of nursing, with death happening all along my career, and then you take 1 year of COVID, and it surpassed those 23 years.
Wow.
It was amazing. And so that was a
So
very emotional, very pulling on your spirit, on your heart, especially because nurses, we're taught to nurse people back to health, not to
mhm,
put them in a body bag and send them down to the
right.
So that was very hard. And then the hours that we worked, it was so hard. And then here's something that a lot of people didn't realize. I'm a nurse and I'm charged. I'm called to serve the hurting, the sick. But what about me? I was in danger every single day that I went to work.
Mm,
My family, when I came home, my son had moved back in with me. He graduated from college and he was like, "Ma, I don't know what to do." I said, "You come back home, son, because this is not the time to be out here trying to be Superman. Come back home and let's get through this thing together." And I worked in the hospital. I was like, "Don't come here, don't come by me. Let me buy you. Let me go shower first. Let me go. Don't." I was undressing in the garage. I had a clothes basket in the garage. And I didn't want to bring the shoes in the house. I didn't, because we didn't know. It was so stressful emotionally. It was so stressful physically, working the long hours and not having the personal protective equipment that we needed. We was just trying to figure it out. And all I know is I came home crying almost every day. I'm about to cry now just thinking about it. I came home every day
oh,
crying.
don't cry, don't cry, don't
I
cry.
know, because it was so hard, because you just didn't know what that next day was going to bring. And if you were going to make it out, because, okay,
Yeah.
another day, it's my turn to go get tested. Am I going to be negative? Am I going to be negative? I'm negative. Thank you, Lord. And I go back right back into what they say, the killing fields, or right back into the hot bowl or whatever. And every week, you're getting tested, trying to make sure you're good. And then one time you get a positive result and you're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me." And all I was trying to do was care for someone.
Exactly.
So share with us some of the situations that y'all went through, where people, your coworkers, was getting sick and not being able to come to work. Kind of share with everybody how serious it really is, because I was a skeptic. I was skeptical.
So, when we were working in COVID, you get sick, you have to use your sick time. But this was really a work-related thing. But, it's like, we don't know if you're going anywhere. Nothing was open. Where were we going? Everything was shut down, literally. And so you have to use your sick time, your own personal vacation time, but you're sick, and don't let it go over. So the first time I had COVID, I was off of work for about 20 days. So I made it through. But when I went back to work, I was okay. My job was very understanding, very caring, and they let me come right back, right back in, no issues. I just fell right back into place. And so it worked out. But the second time I got COVID, I had no more sick time. I didn't have any time, so I wasn't getting paid. But I know where I got it from. And then when I went back to work after 15 days, I tried to go back to work. I couldn't. I was so fatigued. I couldn't breathe, and I was still coughing. And so everybody was like, every time you cough, everybody looking and like, you can't cough nowadays. You better not cough in public. I'm serious. People looking at you like you're crazy, right? Let alone you coughing in a hospital or in a college of nursing or something. Everybody like, "Wait, are you supposed to be here?" So it was very hard. I knew what my patients went through because I got to experience the shortness of breath, the loss of weight, which I needed to lose a few pounds, so I'm not crying about that. But the shortness of breath, the fatigue, I had no energy. I could barely get in and out of bed. Just walking to the bathroom took a lot out of me. It was horrible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was horrible.
Well, I had it myself. Didn't know that I had it. This was the end of 2019. I got sick with the flu, and then about 2 weeks later, I got sick again. And at that time, they wasn't really,
I was trying to figure it out.
Right. So I didn't know. I didn't know that I had it. But I had all the symptoms. I had shortness of breath, no taste, no smell. And I didn't really get nauseated though. I didn't get nauseated. I guess I probably lost a few pounds, but I did the best thing. I stayed away from my mom. I stayed away from my kids. When I went somewhere, I went out in the open. I wasn't in a confined, closed, area. But I didn't know. And then I think I want to say maybe mid-February, they started, saying that that it's airborne and all that. And I was just like, whoa, I think I got it. And so I didn't get my smell and my taste back until about 2.5 months later. So I know what you mean. Like it was serious. And I like I said, I was one of those skeptical people where I was like, man, this is just something they, trying to put on the media and, fake stuff and all this. And population control is one of the things I said, and I'm still not sure about this vaccine, which I was about to ask you about next. But
don't ask me about
it. I think that one right there is kind of a personal matter, like each person has to decide personally what's best for them and what's best for them, for their family.
Yeah.
Because, at no point you don't want to impose your own personal opinion and feelings on someone to try to persuade them or even manipulate them to think in the same mind frame as you, right? So, each person has their own thought pattern, their own reasoning, either to get it or not to get it.
Not
like
to.
I said, it's up to each individual. I myself personally, I've gotten the vaccine.
You have?
I have, in full. I haven't, thankfully I haven't had any complications or anything like that or any side effects. But I believe that in anything, you have side effects. Even with the medicine that you take today, even for a headache, just something mild like that, you have side effects.
Yeah.
So nothing in itself is perfect, and I want to say maybe you can attest to that working in the in the health field.
Yeah, what I tell everybody, and what I tell everybody is anything that you're taking that's not natural, that means it's not from your body, you're going to have a side effect.
Yeah.
So like you said, you take blood pressure medicine, you're going to have a side effect. You take Tylenol for a headache, you're going to have a side effect. So anything that's not naturally from your body, you're going to have a side effect from it. So everything you're going to have a side effect. So you have to make the decision what's best for you and your family and your needs. I'm not around anybody. I'm single. I live alone. I'm around it, and I'm teaching now. I'm teaching in nursing. I left the hospital. So COVID had a role in me deciding where I wanted to practice nursing.
See, look, you already getting ahead of the curve.
Okay. I was in the hospital. I was a clinical nurse educator for one of the big hospitals here in the city of Houston. And after, being sick and being just drained for a year, it was like, I want to leave nursing, but I don't, because I feel like, I've been wanting to be a nurse since I was 7 years old. This is the only thing I ever wanted to do. This is, how people say, I want to be a teacher, a policeman, and a model. I only wanted to be a nurse. So I'm living my dream. Okay. So I don't want to leave, but I need to change my focus. Okay. I don't want to be at the bedside. And like I told you at the beginning of the show, I have a chronic disease. I'm diagnosed with a couple of autoimmune diseases, which make me very vulnerable to getting sick. And my doctors don't know how I survived COVID twice. because everybody that I know that had lupus that got COVID, they passed. Everybody that I know in my support group. So I know it's the favor of God that's on my life that has kept me. I didn't do nothing spectacular. But outside of me praying a lot all day, every day. So I'm vulnerable just like the next person. So I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This has been just so horrible on the nursing community, on the medical profession, on the frontline workers. So I took a job as a college professor now. So I'm not exposed to that much anymore. Teaching online a lot. I do go to class 1 day a week. So COVID has changed me. It's made me make some decisions. And that is to pull myself out of the community until some of this goes away, until they figure it out.
Yeah, because you was on because you guys was on the front line, you know. Yep. You wasn't on the outside looking in. Right. You was on the inside looking out.
Inside fighting. Yeah, literally. Y'all just don't know. Every day, I just every day. I documented everything that I went through. So I think probably in about a year I'll write a book about the nurses experience with COVID, because it was crazy. I ain't never experienced nothing like that.
So
yeah, I'll buy it. I'll definitely buy it.
Yep.
Yeah. So Dr. Jenkins, so by the name of this show being called Solution, we hear a lot of the adversities that you went through personally in just a matter of a short period of time, because a year doesn't even equate nowhere close to the life that you've lived, right? Mm-hmm. So what have you done personally to help you overcome, life challenges, the different setbacks, the different adversities in your life personally? And I'm asking you that because it's going to lead me off into the next question dealing with your book.
Okay. So I don't know who's in your audience, what's your audience makeup of your people. So I speak on a higher level. I'm not surface at all. So I'm gonna go there. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the number one thing that I do is I change my mindset. I change how I look at stuff. If you're a Bible person, not just religious, if you're a spiritual person and you believe in the Word of God, it says, "So a man thinketh, so is he." And so how you think and how you see yourself is how you're going to be, period. Okay. So I changed my mindset. I think myself out of situations. I see myself successful. I see myself overcoming. I see myself getting through challenge, and I do every single time. And in my book, I talk about these tips and these tools and things that you can do to overcome these challenges, this adversity that you face. And one of them is change your mindset. Change how you think. Well, everybody in my family had it, or everybody in my family went through it. Nobody in my family went to college. Change what you think and start saying, I'm going to be the first one to go to college. I am the first millionaire in my family. Does it reflect in my bank account? Not yet.
There you go.
So you gotta change yourself. The second thing I like to tell people to do is watch your mouth. There's life or death in your tongue. You got to choose wisely. So I'm not going to sit down and speak negative over my life. I'm not going to speak and say, I remember being sick with COVID. And I was talking to one of my other colleagues, and she said, I feel like I'm dying. I said, I feel like I'm living. I feel like everything is going to be okay. And I say, you got to watch your mouth. If it's one thing, if it ain't one thing, it's another. Y'all hear that people say that all the time, right?
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
Stop it. Watch your mouth. I say, this is just a temporary situation. It's just a matter of time for my situation change. I'm done with that. You have to learn how to open your mouth and speak life into your situation. You have what you say. If we go back to the Bible, you have what you say. So you have to change what you say, change what you think, change what you say. If you get those things right, we can work on the rest. But you got to change your mindset. You got to watch your mouth and be careful what you say.
So I guess we'll leave the discussion in, because I pay attention to what you say, right? I hang on people's words. So you say, and the main thing that you said was changing your mindset. So I want to focus on that subject in itself for right now, because we know that, just like you said, if you think you're gonna do something, if you believe in yourself to do it, then you're gonna make strides in that direction to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I would like to do is to be able to have a conversation with you about that, a open table conversation, and then allow our viewers, if they want to chime in on it as well,
Okay.
as far as the mindset.
Okay.
I guess I'll start off is that I like to, agree with you when it comes to a mindset in itself, because I believe that a lot of times we let life's adversities dictate the mental state that we're in.
Come on, man.
A lot of times it could be, difficult to overcome those life hurdles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the determination and the drive of the individual makes the difference.
Yes.
I remember in high school, and there was this one particular kid. Parent didn't care about them at all. Didn't care if they worked, had anything to eat, clothes, nothing. The kid was just able to just live their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the mindset of that child allowed that child to overcome adversity in the household first, where the individual should be able to feel safe. That child went on to graduate at the top of the class,
Mm-hmm.
held down a job and with the school at the same time, providing for themselves, and graduating and
Yeah.
go on to become something. That speaks volumes, right?
Yes.
But if that child was to sit back and pity on oneself,
That's right. That's right.
Woe is me.
Mm-hmm.
You can talk about what life is, well, the experiences that you're experiencing in life.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you doing as an individual to change
That's right.
your situation, right? So we have to start to look at the solutions, and again, hence solutions, right?
Yes.
We have to look at what it is that we need to change our situation. Because if we sit back and wait on someone else, it's never going to get done.
Never gonna get done.
It's like if I tell you I'm hungry, right? And you invite me over and you set me down at your table and you had this big spread. You did your part.
Right.
It's up to me to eat, right?
That's right. That's
no
right.
one, you can't force me, and no one else can force me to eat.
That's right.
So it's the same way in life. Is that in life you have opportunities. Somebody might not be there, because you do have special cases and situations where people afford other individuals opportunities where that they're successful, they reach back, they pull you ahead, right? But everyone isn't as fortunate.
Everybody don't have that. Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, everyone is allowed at the same opportunities. So now, I know that right there is going to spark a whole bunch. But the reality of the fact is that we all afforded the same opportunity.
We are.
The difference is that some of us have to work harder to achieve those opportunities. It's up to us to be able to, we know how hard we want to work, and how hard we work determines how far or how successful we are in life.
Right.
So
That's good. That's good.
I mean, I don't want to just continue to rant on without giving someone an opportunity to speak. So I guess if one of y'all want to speak on it, then we
Well, I
can go
mean,
back.
I'm just listening at you guys.
Yeah, I do want to
Well,
speak
I'm
on
just
it.
listening, and I can share
Okay,
with you and Dr. Bridget.
go ahead.
Oh, go
Hey,
ahead.
go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay,
You pass the floor to
No,
you.
no. I was just saying I can relate to the both of you guys.
Oh,
No,
okay.
okay,
I can relate to both of you guys because a lot of people don't know some of the things that I've been through. Uh, I don't speak on it a lot, but I had some very scary things happen to me in my 20s, uh, and even in my early 30s. I almost didn't have both my legs, so to a staph infection. So I can share like Dr. Bridges said. I kept saying to myself, this not going to be the end result. I don't care what they say. I'm gonna be here to keep up with my kids. I was, all the positive stuff that I could say to myself, I was saying, and look at me. I mean, most people think I'm a trainer, and I'm like, I haven't even been in the gym for 2 years. I just kept pushing forward. I had meningitis before. I had a back and foot injury. I was off work for 2.5 years with the family at the time. So just like she said, I had to just keep positive, and no matter what nobody said, nobody what nobody thought. I had to say, this is gonna be, better. It's gonna get better. It's not gonna be the end of it. And I just kept pushing forward.
that's
So
right.
I love your book. I love your book. I gotta buy it. I gotta buy it because I gotta read it because those to me are affirmations
Yes,
that you have to say to yourself. When James was talking about the kid that was the circumstance was totally against their favor. I mean, totally against it, and they did the complete opposite of what probably was expected. Here it is, you coming from a family that nobody cares, and you're gonna grow up and not care.
right.
That's mostly what happened. But we have to push through things, and we have to keep going. Because we got other people that we can encourage. We
Yeah,
got other people that need to hear what we've been through, and then we have to leave that to our loved ones and our kids.
that's
So
right.
I'm proud of you myself. Because you survived lupus, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna say you don't even have it no more.
That's right. That's
You
right.
don't even have it. It's just a thing of the past. So, I'm glad that you're here to tell the story and to share with us, your journey.
Thank you. Thank you. So for me, um, I talk to people and try to encourage them and let them know, yes, we all have the same opportunity. One of the situations I was recently dealing with, I was dating a guy, and I was like, well, why don't you go get it? And he would always say, look, I don't make the money you make, or I'm not a big nurse like you. I'm a blue collar worker. I say nurses are blue collar workers. You didn't know that? And he's like, well, I ain't got a doctorate degree. So he would always throw my accomplishments up. I ain't write a book. I didn't. And I say, look, man, when I was getting ready to break up with him, y'all know that, right? Look, man,
Oh,
look, man, we all have the same opportunity. Don't be mad at me because I chose to do something with my opportunity. And I'm not knocking you because you didn't, but stop beating me up because I
Yeah,
did. And I say, because we graduated from sister high schools. So I know what we came out of North Forest, it was poured in or whatever. And they say, can anything good come out of North Forest? Yes, something good can come out of North Forest if you push yourself and go get it. So I always tell people too,
yeah,
young mothers, teen moms. I was a teenage mom. I had my baby at 18. And I had to decide whether I'm gonna sit at home and get that $147 a month check and that $312 of food stamps. I got it for 6 months and Medicaid. And I made a decision. This is just a temporary situation. It's a matter of time before my life changed. While I was getting that federal assistance, I was in school. I became a nurse aide. And that was the foundation to my nursing career. So I wasn't going to sit there and just get a check every month. I have friends who were all getting checks at that time. I got some that still getting a check because they decided to never do anything with their life. And you don't have to go get a doctorate degree. You don't even have to go get a master's degree. You don't even have to get a bachelor's degree. In fact, you don't even have to go get a degree. You can put in your mind that I'm going to be the baddest business owner on this side of the north side of Houston. And what's your gift? Go get it. You can be a business owner and I know business owners who don't have a degree that out-earn me because that's their passion, that's their craft, that's their gift. And so they go and they do that. I look at people who, I look at I have a girlfriend who has a boutique. She said, I started with $200. I think she probably made $500,000 last year selling clothes. So,
wow.
Change your mindset. Change how you think about what you can do with your life. Change it. I promise you. But here's what I found out, that a lot of people have fixed mindsets. And when you have a fixed mindset, that means you're not going to grow. You're going to stay stuck, fixed in that same position.
You pretty much like a horse with the blinders on.
Yes. But if you have a growth mindset, the world is yours. You can do anything. I'm gonna get past this. I'm gonna make it through this. I just gotta get this certificate. I gotta go get this inspection license. I gotta get this real estate license. Whatever you want. It's some short things that you can do to change your situation really quick. 3 to 6 months. A nurse aid program is just 6 weeks long. You can go from earning minimum wage to earning $15 an hour. So if you fix your mind, you change your mindset, you can do some things. And
that's the nucleus.
That's it. You got to change your mindset. And then even when I was sick, and I'll yield the floor, I was sick and I was at home on hospice. They told me that they couldn't do anything else for me. And I talk about this in my book. It's a whole chapter by itself because it was profound. They said they couldn't do nothing for me. So I came home and the hospice nurse came, the home health agency nurse came, and they was getting me settled in. They was preparing me to die. But guess what? Dr. B wasn't preparing to die in her head. In my mind, I was saying I will live and not die. I will live and not die, declare the works of the Lord. I will live and not die. I'm going to see my grandbabies and my grandchildren, my great-grandbabies. I'm going to see my kids graduate from college. I've seen them all. I've seen it all come to pass because it started here in my head. I was not listening to what those doctors said. I changed I wouldn't listen to them. I blocked them out. And then I started opening my mouth and on purpose saying that I would live and not die. And I was going to have a good life. And I have. And that was in 2017. Here we are, 2021. When I walk into my neurologist's office, he said, we still going to Vegas because you're the luckiest woman alive. And I said, you always say that. He said, yeah, because you be here. He said, you got to be a good luck charm, a lucky piece. I say, I'm blessed. So if I go to Vegas with you and you lose all your money, you're going to be mad. Because I'm just blessed. And I've spoke these things over my life. And that's because I changed my mindset and I changed what I was paying out of my money.
So in order to, we can pick your phone up, Murphy. So we can talk about, the success, just you, myself, Murphy, or, just people you see or, on TV that individuals may highlight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as widespread as we would think so. And a lot of people would think, because a lot of people think that they have a certain mindset, right? So as individuals, what are we doing individually to stop the systematic, how do you say, you have people around you who
negative
have products of their environment, right? Who are stuck in that cycle, who may not know, like a better way of life, a better way of a better quality of life.
Right.
I'm gonna say quality of life because you see, or
Yeah.
better life, but what is the actual quality of it, right? Because you can be successful and not live the quality life and not be, happy. So, we as individuals who are, successful, coming up, however the situation may be, we have to reach back and extend our hand and help individuals up out of that bucket. We don't never want to be crabs in a bucket where that everyone is fighting for the top, but everyone's pulling you down as well. And
Yeah.
then you
Yeah.
don't want to
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
the one who makes it out, but never comes back and helps someone else to make it out as well. So when you see young ones, like, are you mentoring them
Mm-hmm.
in a positive way? Not trying to manipulate them because, young minds are impressionable. So we don't want to be manipulating
Yeah.
individuals. And as melanated people, we tend, a lot of us tend to withhold information. And we're not, and not just so much knowledge. We're so afraid to share knowledge because we're afraid of the next person stealing your ideas, the next person making more money than you, being more successful, being happier. We're so afraid of the next person just being, right? Where we withhold
Yeah.
knowledge. Knowledge is power. So which means the more people that we empower, we grow the ability or have the ability to grow as a group of people because we have, it's a lot of things that still a part of our culture and our
Mm-hmm.
mindset has been
Mm-hmm.
passed on from
That's
us
right.
from hundreds of years ago. And it's just a matter of, I don't want to say to be less politically, to breed it out, right? Just how you
Yeah.
breed out imperfections, we have to start to breed out these negative mindsets that we have. We have to start changing these mindsets. And you can't do it with a group of people far, what I'm saying, on the other side of the country or the world. You have to start
Yeah.
within your own
Right here.
house. It starts at home first.
Yep.
So once you try and change the mindset of the people within your house, then the people within your house goes out into the public and start to assist and help change the condensation of and the mind frame of the people of the public of the community, right? And we talked about the virus in the beginning, is that when anything that is widespread, it starts centralized and then it branches
And it
off,
spreads
right?
out. Mm-hmm.
So we want to have that same effect when it comes to
Yes.
changing the mindset of within ourselves first and foremost. Because I can't change your mind if my mind isn't ready to be changed, right? So it starts with us and within our
Right.
household, and then we branch off from there. And we can't be afraid to pull the coattail of someone that we see that's going down the wrong path.
Right.
Nowadays, this is what everybody wants to do. When you see something messed up, I watched a movie called Unhinged.
Oh yeah.
You seen it?
Yep.
Y'all, you seen it, man? So whoever
No,
seen it,
I haven't saw it.
okay. So that scene in that restaurant, that's unrealistic because everybody wanted to grab a camera. Nobody wanted to do anything. So I say that to say this is that if you see somebody doing messed up, that's because they don't have the right frame of thinking.
Right.
So what are you doing? Like, hey, what's going on? Like, we got away from that, and it makes it where a lot of people are afraid to say something to you because they're afraid of the reaction. You know, it ain't no
Yeah.
telling what a person they do see you, but times are different. I remember getting beat at school. Corporate points was still a thing when I was in school. I remember getting whooped by one of my neighbors.
Yeah.
I remember getting whooped by my parents, you know, because I was wrong. But society nowadays have you so afraid to correct anyone at any point, even not just at home with your children, even dealing with the law and now if you say something now everybody's offended. If like I said, discipline your child, someone's offended. If you eat meat, somebody's offended. If I sneeze, you offended. If I wake up this morning, you gonna be offended. So
a lot of people just walk around with, I call it the spirit of offense. That means anything you do could just make them upset or make them angry. But we have to learn how to live out our lives and walk out our lives in our own, whatever it is that you're supposed to do. I can't please everybody. I can't make everybody happy. So as long as I'm not doing nothing wrong, I feel like as long as I'm not breaking the law, I'm not breaking God's law, man's law, I'm good. This is what it is. You get what you get. And you just kind of have to go there.
Yeah.
And I'm telling somebody is this. So I'm mentoring 9 women right now. One is 19, and everybody else is over 35. So you said, get these young people, but these old people need help too.
yeah,
So
need to change. Look, need to teach the old dogs a new trick.
absolutely. So, and I tell them, I say, stop walking around here being offended. Why you mad at this sister? Why you can't give her a compliment? I mean, she just thinks she too much. Why she thinks she too much? What is it about her that make you think that she thinks she too much? Look at them shoes. Wait a minute. So now let's get to the bottom of it, of the thing here. It's not her. It's not that she think it's too much. You're jealous because she got shoes that you don't have. She got a purse that you don't have. She driving a car that you don't have. So now you're jealous. So we need to get out of the spirit of offense and jealousy, and start celebrating people. And my pastor says, if you see somebody with something that you want, get with them and find out what they did to get. Now, that's not, be careful about this illegal stuff.
That's good.
You got to make wise decisions. But if somebody has a business, say you want to do write a book, just say write a book, and you don't know how to do it, follow me. I drive nuggets all day long. I tell people how to do stuff all day long.
Yeah.
If you want to change your attitude, you got a nasty attitude or whatever, you bitter, angry, mad, get with somebody who got a bubbly attitude. Hang out with them. Maybe they'll be infectious and it'll rub off on you. Sometimes we have to change our circle. So if you've been running with the same crowd and everybody is miserable, you might want to get away from them, because you're not going to be nothing but miserable, because your whole circle miserable. So sometimes we have to change the people we hang around with. It could be family. It can be friends that you grew up with. Sometimes we have to change our circle so we can get where it is that we want to go to in life.
That's real.
Yeah.
And I think you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because so many times we let the circumstance of our environment cause us to think like our environment. But according to what you were saying earlier, you have to change that. You have to change it. And something that James said, how do you get from being? I'm a paraphrase James, but how do you get from being in a negative environment mentally to being in a positive environment mentally? And my answer to that would be what you just said. You got to want to change that scenario. You got to want to change that. You can't, because some people can't see. They can't see a positive in their environment. Like he was talking about the kid from school. A lot of kids grow up like that. Where nothing around them is positive. It's all negative.
Right.
But I feel like, according to even with myself, I feel like when you are in a situation like that, something in your mind innately with your conscience says it's got to be something better.
Yep.
It's just like it's innate. It's a part of you. Like, I'm not going to be a product of my environment. I'm not going to settle for less. I'm not going to be a nobody. I'm a somebody. And I think that's what bursts the positive mindset in that person, that they start convincing themselves that this can't be all that it is. And that's another thing. You got to realize life is too great of a thing, and it's too much to see. It's too many places to eat. It's too many, hotels and countries to visit. It can't all be negative. It can't all just be, BS and stormy days and rainy days and, tornadoes and hurricanes. It's got to be some sunny skies. It's got to be, a light at the end of the tunnel, and I feel like that's what it's going to take for us as a culture to change the narrative.
That's right.
And stop talking about the negative stuff that's going on, because people really like drama. They love drama.
Yep.
Shows are built off of drama.
Yep.
But everything you said on here, it wasn't drama filled. So I'm not even suspecting that we had a lot of viewers today, because this was positive. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you talk about some negative stuff, people got a whole lot to say. But then when you say some positive stuff, everybody get quiet.
That's right.
Because sometimes people have adapted to that being the norm. They've adapted to that. That's what's expected. It's expected for you to not have solutions. To just keep talking about what's bad and what's horrible and who did this to you and who hurt you and all that. And it's like, no. As a culture, we have to talk to more people like yourself. And I'm glad that you have this perspective, because all kind of stuff was against you last year, and then look at you now. This is the finished product.
We also have
so it's like it can be done. It can be done.
Yeah, we also have a comment from Stephanie Young. She says we create our own positive
what's going on,
system within. What happened?
Oh, I was speaking to her. I said, "Hey, Stephanie."
Oh, okay, yeah. Stephanie said we create our own positive ecosystem within. We need to teach these babies how to tap into the God within in a real way.
That's right. That's it. That's good, Stephanie.
I agree. Yes. Thank you, Stephanie, for that comment. Another positive system.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes back to what Aaron was talking about last week about the echo chamber. So a lot of times people just want what they want to hear echo back to them, versus what Stephanie is saying is, teaching them the right way, the real way. A lot of people are not ready mentally and emotional for that.
That's it. They're not. And one thing, when somebody called me and asked me for advice, I always say, okay. I say, now, are you sure you want me to answer that? If you want me to give you some advice? And I've had one of my close girlfriends, she said, you know what? Never mind. And I was like, okay. And so about 6 or 7 months, I forgot about it. I wasn't thinking about it. So about 6 or 7 months later, she called. She said, you remember that day I called you and asked you for some advice, and then I changed my mind? I said, yeah. She said, I just realized. I said, B not finna play with me. She gonna come at the throat. And I wasn't ready. And I was like, oh. And so I always do that. Anybody call me, even before somebody called me, they say, I just need a coaching session with you. And I said, okay, so here's what I do. I say, I'm very raw, I'm very clear, and I'm very upfront. I don't sugarcoat anything. So if you want me to have a pity party and roll around on the floor with you, I'm not that girl. I say, I will give you some straight facts, straight to the gut stuff. And Oh no, ma'am, I'm ready. You sure? I always ask twice, and then I go for it. And I this past month in June, I spoke on 18 different platforms.
Wow.
Because people are wanting the truth now. We're tired of being lied
Of
to.
course.
We're tired of living mediocre lives. We need to know what we need to do. And some people really want to change. They really want to get out the hole that they're in. The hole that they dug for themselves.
And they don't,
or the hole somebody dug and they fell in. Whatever it was, they want out. But you got to be straight up and honest with people and give them true information and stuff that they can that's tangible that they can use. And that's what I try to do because that's what I need.
Yes.
At the same.
Yeah, because I went through that when that. I'm sorry.
I told James I was nervous.
I think I was delayed.
He got a rebuttal. I'm like, wait a minute.
I'm here for the conversation. I can give a dissertation if need be. I'm working on a lot of different subjects, so you ain't gonna miss me on.
Okay.
But by the way, before I go on to what I'm saying, Sabrina, Kyle Cross says hi, y'all. Hey, cousin, and hey, Bridget.
Hey, sis, that's my makeup artist.
Okay.
I don't let nobody touch my Facebook.
What's up, cousin? Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
So, when we tell people we don't want to be, excuse me, I'm about to say it, an asshole about it. We do want to be tactful. Tact is key, and the way that our delivery method is going to determine on how they receive it.
Right.
What they're saying is not what you say, it's how you say it.
How you say it.
So we want to keep that in mind when we're dealing with people because we do deal with different personalities.
Right.
And the way that we would handle something or receive something doesn't mean that it's the way that the next person will. And how we deliver something or interact with one individual doesn't mean that it's going to work with the next person as well. So we want to, if we're taking on that role of mentorship, we want to be able to tailor our message for the individual. Right. So,
yeah, but I'm saying this.
Can I say something though?
If you my friend, I told you that was my friend. She getting it raw, uncut, like BET used to be uncut at night after midnight.
Yeah.
You my friend, that's how it's coming. Now, if you are a client, I'm way more sensitive. But my friend, because I know them, and she already know I was gonna get her.
Yeah. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, because I was going to say, I have a slight disagreement with that because of what you said earlier about how today we're so sensitive. People are so, you can't say nothing. Even if you say positive stuff, people still get offended. Even if you tailor it, put it on yourself and stitch it yourself and got a degree in sewing, they still gonna find something to say bad about it.
That means that individual, again, like I said, we here to disagree, agree to disagree, however, whatever. But I also did make the comment that everyone isn't mentally or emotionally ready to receive what it is that you have to tell them. That's what makes them sensitive, is because they're not in a mind frame or in a situation presently to receive the information that's being given to them. So I want y'all to look at y'all's screen because I just figured this out too. So look, I'm learning how to work this whole app thing. I'm doing the IT stuff behind the scenes. So we have Miss Haygood Love came in.
Hey, my sister.
people realize that lies have put them at a standstill. So now they are receiving the raw truth. How they receive the truth depends on their maturity and honesty with themselves.
Right.
So
That's
yeah,
good.
it's raw and uncut.
Yeah, because you know like I'll use my parenting for example with my children. Like people said, you know, I'm wrong for this, but I no longer whoop my kids physically. I whoop them mentally. You know, because I challenge them when they do something they're not supposed to do. I interrogate. I mean, I sit there and ask them, you know, do you know what you did? And if they say yes or no, it depends on where I'm gonna go. Why did you do it? What did you learn from this? Okay, are you gonna do it again? Okay, then we're gonna go into what you did and who it affected and how it's gonna affect you now and how you're about to not go here and there and get what you wanted and all this because you know what you did was wrong.
Yeah.
And you did it anyway. And now you're telling me that you know that you shouldn't have did it. So that lets me know that you know what you did was wrong. So you're being accountable for your own action. So I don't necessarily have to yell at them or you know punish them harshly because the interrogation is the whooping.
Make them think.
Yeah, and I'm making them feel bad. And so you know my kids they if they get it like if I call them or if I get a call that they doing something that they ain't supposed to do and they know I'm calling them they get real timid and they get real quiet. They answer the phone all soft, hello.
And so, but you know what though? But you have to realize too, and again it goes back to what I said. It starts in the household, right?
Yes.
So if you call your child or you approach your child in a certain tone, and that child is like, dang man, what did I do? Or I know I messed up. That means that you're rearing your child in the right direction, right? That your child, because discipline is a form of love.
It is.
And that can be as an adult or as a child. But it starts as a child that form of discipline is loving because I don't want you to experience certain things that I may have experienced or certain things that I've seen. So I'm giving you corrective matters or I'm correcting you now so that you don't have to experience these things. And like you say, you don't always have to physically you don't have to always become physical with a child, right? A lot of times, depending on the relationship, and again, like I said, each individual, each child, each person is different. So what works for one of your kids may not work for the next one. So some of you, you know what I'm saying, some of you talk to them and they, you know what I'm saying, can make those needed changes. Some of them you might have to chastise them a little harder.
Mine, you got to box mine. I had to whoop mine, but they grown now, and my baby is 20. She'll be 20. She's 21 this year. But I had to box them. And she's talking about, she said, Mama, you didn't play. You didn't play with us. I said, I just knew I knew my kids.
Yeah.
So I box them and then we talk about it. So I always talk about them after they got a whooping or whatever. So it just depends. You got to know your kids. You just got to know. But one thing that I talk about a lot when I'm
I said
when I'm talking about people who are sensitive to issues, sensitive to situations, they don't want to talk about stuff. I tell them to just sit down, write down, reflect, just write and reflect on this issue. Why are you having this issue? And a lot of times when people write down why you keep coming back to this same issue, what's wrong? Like one person, she's
Yeah.
been evicted 4 times. Like, why do you keep getting evicted and you have a job? Is your job not enough? Your apartment too much? Let's weigh this out. Let's write this stuff down. So one of the chapters in my book is to sit back and reflect on what's going on in your life. And even when I say, why are you so offended? Sit back and reflect. Why are you offended? And I'll be honest, a lot of it goes back to childhood trauma. A lot of the offense goes back to childhood trauma. And then a lot also can go back to something that happened in a relationship, especially when it comes to women. It goes back to he did this to me, he did this to me. Not to throw shade at y'all because I don't know what y'all did to nobody, but it's just, if you sit back and reflect, sit back and reflect on what happened that have you in that mindset. That's how you can get over that mindset. So you sit back and reflect on it. You come to a conclusion what it was, and you unpack each item or whatever you say it was that made you have this spirit of offense, or not like the way someone talks to you. You just easily offended, or you're angry at the world, or you never, like you say, you never achieve a goal. You just you've been in the same place for 20 years. If you sit back, write it down and reflect on it, I promise you could come up to the solution of what happened, what caused you to be in this situation.
Get off your cord.
Oh, yeah. Huh?
Get off your cord, man.
I'm on my card?
Yeah, it's real bad.
Give us some feedback, man.
Oh, hold on.
You need some AirPods?
No, I have some. I bought these up because I couldn't connect with my AirPods when I'm on here.
That's why it's messing up.
I'm sure that's better. I took them out. Yeah,
that's much better.
Look, that's
no, I just took it out. No. But no, I was gonna say thank you, Dr. Bridget. That's actually where we're gonna take the show real soon. I'm gonna have for all my listeners, guys, we're gonna have a therapist come on and share the importance of dealing with mental traumas and how important it is to get help, even when you think you over stuff that happened from your childhood, and you just suppressing it, and you think you normal and you going along, you getting into relationships, and whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's with friends, and everybody else can see the issue that you have except for you. We're gonna have a therapist on here to talk about that, because that's very important. You gotta psychologically, you gotta get to a place where you're whole, because that affects every area of your life. You can't think positive like you talking, Doc, if you haven't dealt with those issues. If you still suffering from stuff that happened to you 20, 30 years ago, 40 years ago as a child, and you think, you're going to just be able to just survive in the real world, you sadly mistaken. You sadly mistaken, because all of that stuff affects you in what you're talking about. You can't think positive if you don't deal with that stuff. You can't get to a place where you're talking about if you refuse to reflect. That's and look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, you know what? I need some help.
Tell yourself the truth.
You got to want.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Like you say, and it's been brought out, and in and out of today's show, is that if you don't have the mindset to change, you will never change.
That's right.
You
never.
Take, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. I can say, I can get you the help you need, but if you're not going to take it, what good is it? I'm spinning my wheels. Why would I waste my time on an individual why do I value you and you don't even value yourself?
Ooh.
That's right. That's good, James.
Ooh-wee.
So
we
as individuals, we place a value on our own self-worth, right? So I think I'm more valuable. So I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure that my value not only stays the same but
increases. That's right.
You know, so you have to. How do I want to say this? You
say it. Tell the truth.
Just say
it.
If your value is low, you're gonna be treated as low.
Man,
right?
you better say that.
Your value is high. Then that's the way people are going to treat you. People are going to treat you accordingly to the way that you treat yourself.
Yep.
And when I say that is not on, oh, you know, because you're not gonna get along with everyone, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the way I carry myself is gonna make you think twice on how you approach me, how you talk to me, how you react and interact with me, and everything else, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So again, what is your self-value?
What is your self-value?
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's gonna be our next show.
Self.
I think that's gonna be our next show. What is your self-value?
Yeah.
What are you worth?
What are you worth?
Do you know what you worth?
A lot of people don't know what their self-value is because we have to take into account the mental aspect of everything. And I'm being told to keep that for the next show by one of our viewers. So matter of fact, we will keep that for the next show because we can expound on that on so many different levels because there's so many different variables to you know what determines the value of a person. And talking about variables, you know, this whole show we've been talking about changing one's mindset in order to change our situation and the situation of those around us. And I keep saying that it comes back to us individually because a lot of times, the majority of the times, when things go wrong in our life, we tend to blame the next person, right?
Yes.
Versus taking accountability within ourselves for the reason why we are experiencing the things that we are experiencing. So, you know, accountability is a huge part.
Yes.
In one's mindset. Hold it up higher, doctor.
One of my tips is taking accountability. You got to take accountability. A lot of times we constantly are blaming people for things that are happening to us. And it very well could be somebody doing something to you, but guess what? You allowing it.
And I'm glad you said that because a lot of times we wait around for the people around us to change. And the people around us aren't going to change because we have no control over them. The only variable that's constant is you. You're the only variable that you're able to change. If you want change in your life, if you want the people around you to change, you got to change you.
Yep.
Yeah.
That may be changing your association.
Yep.
That may mean not even talking to some of your family members, whether it be a child, a cousin, a uncle, however. If they are toxic to you, then you need to change you. Change what you need to do to be able to change your situation. Change that variable. That's the only one that's constant.
It's the only one that's constant. And that's the only one you have control over is you. You don't control the next person. You only have control over yourself. So change that. Do something to change you.
Let's take it. Come on, some. Even your spouse, change that too. That's my.
Sometimes you might need to shoot.
She said you gonna bounce back.
Yes. Sometimes you need to if you're gonna bounce back, baby.
Oh man. Well, Miss Dr. Bridget.
Yeah.
We appreciate
properly,
you.
Doctor.
Yeah, put a handle on it.
That's
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
I'm Bridget. I'm the girl from the hood.
No,
Yeah,
From the ghetto. I'm just ready.
You work for that.
Yeah.
No, ma'am. You work for that. Dr. Bridget.
Exactly. We're gonna get
we got.
Thank you.
Yeah, for real. We appreciate you being on here.
Appreciate y'all having me.
And we want you. No problem. We want you to let the listeners know where they can reach you once this is over.
Okay.
And how they can purchase your books. Your books.
Okay. So you can follow me on all social media platforms as Dr. Bridget, and it's Doctor with the DR. Bridget, BRIDGETTE, on Instagram and on Facebook. And if you want to purchase my books, I'm in Walmart, Barnes and Noble, and Amazon. And if you want to purchase a book and have me sign it for you, you can go to my website. And it's www.drbridget.com, just like my social media handles. And you can order. We ship every day. So we're inundated with water, so we try not to let them back up. So we ship out every day. And if you need me to write something in there particularly, I'll write it in there and get it out to you.
Dr. Bridget from Houston, Texas, y'all. Yeah. James, you got anything you want to say? Any closing remarks?
No, I just want to say I appreciate all the viewers that tuned in with us today. Again, Dr. Jenkins, we appreciate you gracing us with your presence today.
Thank you, King.
You know, being on here is greatly appreciated, to be able to talk to someone of your education, of your caliber. I personally want to thank you, and I guess I can say it's safe to speak on behalf of everyone, you know, for working on that front line for us to help nurse everyone back to, back to health, because we know that y'all put in some long hours.
Yes.
It's been stressful, and dealing with this pandemic and the severity of it is that you not only sacrifice yourself, but you also sacrifice that of the health of your family.
Right.
So
I would like to thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I just want to say thank you for coming on short notice, and I appreciate you coming to our platform where we discuss a lot of different issues that we face in our community. And I want to have you back on again. I'm sure James would agree to that. And you dropped a lot of nuggets. You dropped a whole lot of nuggets. So I really want you to.
I said, I hope you was picking them up.
Oh man, I was trying to write, man. I put my phone down. I was right when I put my phone down, and yeah, man, she was dropping it, man. So I really appreciate it. And don't let Dr. Bridget fool y'all. She is she's very fit. She drive bikes. She do triathlons and stuff. So yeah, she she cold. She cold. The only thing she write books and she's a doctor, but she can get with you on the fitness. So yeah, she ain't fooling me.
I know, right?
I got a comment for you, Dr. Jenkins.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, good love. She says, "Thank you, Dr. Bridget, wonderful queen."
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Y'all have me back on when I drop this next book. Kind of shift what I've been writing about being single and successful and happy. Yes, and happy. I
You
still
know,
want me a king, though. Don't get it twisted. I still need me one, and I still want me one. So, but I'm writing about it. And this
I'm
next
glad
book
you
is gonna
said.
be a gem, huh?
I said I'm glad you said that last part that you still want and need.
Oh, yeah.
You
I
know,
need
men can't coexist without women, and women can't coexist without men.
yeah.
So you know, we
You
just need someone that's for you.
Yeah. I can do a lot of things by myself, but some things I can't. I need my king. God knew exactly what he was doing when he created Adam and Eve. So he knew exactly. So I want to be a part of that equation.
Exactly.
You need to go back and listen to some of our previous shows. I think you're
I'm about to go listen to these submissions y'all been talking about. I heard about. I'm about to go see. I know they was cutting up. I know them sisters was cutting up on that one.
We're gonna get back to it. See, you know, we on some of the shows, you know, we've been needing to be able to get, you know, a woman's perspective on certain things. So, you know, but a lot of our shows have been on Facebook Live itself, but it's only been able to have, you know, 2 people on at a time. Now, just able to have more. I don't know how to work that function because I'm not into social media like that. But so that's the reason why we're doing this platform that we have here now, because we're able to add up to, you know, 10 people at a time. Interchange, you know, people in and out of the rooms, and it's easier. It's just better to do things this way. You know, I got my little background up back here behind me, you know, so.
I'll be following y'all. I appreciate this. This was great.
Yes, I appreciate it. And yeah, we thank you for that. Share.
I will. I'll share it on all my platforms. I definitely will.
Yeah.
So
now it's time to go watch.
With that being said, James,
go watch Ready to Love. It's 8:00.
All right. But you say it's 3.
Yeah, I'm telling James. James, go ahead and let everybody know where they can reach you, man.
Y'all can reach us at StrongArmSecurityLLC.com, Strong Arm Security LLC on Facebook, and strong_arm_2017 on Instagram. We're on LinkedIn. We everywhere. So we're here to handle all that.
It's good.
You know, anywhere from security, private investigations, carrier work, you name it, we do it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us on any platform.
Right on. And I would like to have Dr. Bridget next weekend, guys. I'm going to be at a Grade A Daiquiris. That's owned by my good friend Zachary Reese. We're going to have some vendors out there. And like I said, I'm hoping I can get Dr. Bridget to come out there with some of her books. But we're going to be out there supporting the vendors, Black vendors in the community. And I'm going to do these once or twice a month. If anybody need more information, you can inbox me or you can contact me. If you have my number, if you need my number, I can give it to you. And we're just going to keep pushing. We're going to keep pushing and helping out and changing the community, changing the narrative and doing our part. So with that being said, we're going to wrap up and we're going to say good evening, good night, and you guys be safe and enjoy yourself. It's the weekend, so have some fun.
All right.
All right, y'all. Thank y'all.
Peace, everyone.
Later.